Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we will take a look and listen at this, the Sonicake Matribox. This is a very compact and also very affordable multi-effects / modeling pedal, and it has some really nice features which you can see here. And you get all that for less than $150. So in today's video I will show you of course some different sound samples by using some of the factory presets. Then I will give you an overview of the pedal, how everything works, how to edit presets and all that stuff. So let's start with the sound samples. Alright, so now I want to give you a quick overview of the pedal. I will show you the different functions, how you change between presets, how you can edit presets and all that stuff. And the first thing that we see is that the pedal doesn't have too many controls, which I really like, so you don't get overwhelmed by that. Also on the display is not much going on, so you also don't get overwhelmed with a lot of different informations of the preset and all that stuff. So I think that's pretty cool, especially for beginners. So on the right we can see we have a volume expression wah pedal, which most multi-effects pedals have. Then we have two bigger controls. This is the para control, which has like different functions. And this is the volume control for the master volume. Then we have four little buttons. One button is for the global settings, one is for the drum computer, one is just a back button where you can go back from menus, and one is the save button if you want to save a preset. And then we have these three smaller controls for different settings which you always see on the display. And then of course we also have two foot switches. Then when we look at the connections, we have an input jack, of course, where you plug in your guitar. Then we have two outputs, a left and right output, so you can use it stereo, and that's how I have connected it. So it goes directly into my audio interface. So all the sounds you have heard before and you will hear now are directly recorded from the pedal, so there's no amplifier or anything else. Then we have an aux in, so you can connect your smartphone to play music, for example. You have an headphones output, an USB-C jack, so you can connect it to your computer and use the free edit software to edit the presets, or you can simply use it as an audio interface. And of course you have the power jack, where you can connect your 9-volt DC power supply, which is, by the way, included if you buy this pedal. Okay, so what I have to mention is that this pedal doesn't have an on and off switch, so if you unplug the power supply, then it will turn off, and if you plug it in, then it will automatically turn on. And now you are directly in the first preset, which you heard before. So the standard setting is that we are in preset mode, which you can see here on the display. And that simply means that we use these two foot switches to change between the presets. So pretty simple. And when you press both foot switches, you have a tuner, which also allows you to do some settings, like you can mute your signal, or you can not mute your signal, or you can bypass your signal so that just the clean tone comes through. So you have some different options, and you can also change the pitch here. And if you press this again, you come back. And then what you also can see on the display is a BPM number, which you can adjust with this control. And this mainly triggers the drum computer and the delay speed. But I think in this preset, it isn't synced. So you have to sync the delay with the BPM speed, which you can do in the settings, which I will show you later. But what I want to say is that you can change the BPM here. Or if you press and hold this foot switch, you are in tap mode, and then you can simply tap in the tempo. And if you press and hold it again, you are back. Then the next thing is, here is preset mode. What you also can do is stomp mode. So you have just these two options with that control. And stomp mode basically allows you to turn on certain effects block within that preset. So you can see on the display now there are a few icons, and Effects 2 is for the left foot switch, and delay and reverb is for the right foot switch. So you can turn them on and off just like you want it. So that's the default setting, how it was before. Let's turn off the delay and reverb. And now Effects 2, which probably was an overdrive pedal. Yes, so if you don't want to change between presets, if you want to use one preset and just want to be able to turn on and off certain effect blocks, then you can use that in stomp mode. What you also can do, if you press and hold this foot switch, you can also change between preset and stomp mode. So you can do that hands-free. Then we also have this control, and this is simply for the patch volume. So as you can see, everything that is going on here on the display is pretty simple so far. So now let me show you how to edit a preset. You simply have to press the para button, and then you can see the different effect blocks which are turned on or off in this certain preset. And if you turn the para control, you can go through the effect blocks, and you can see we have turned on a screamer, which is probably a tube screamer, kind of overdrive pedal. Then of course we have turned on an amp, a noise gate, a cabinet, a delay, and a reverb. And if we go to one of these effect blocks, we have different options here with these controls. The first one is simply to turn on and off the effect block. Then the second one with that you can change between different kinds of effects. So in this case, different kinds of overdrive pedals and stuff. And then with the wide control you can set the gain in this case, but you also have like a second page of controls, and for that you have to press this button again, and then you can see you can also set the tone and the volume of that screamer. Okay, the same also works with amplifiers, so with that you can go through different amplifiers. And the same here with the settings. If you press the para control once, you go through all the controls like presence, master, bass, and if you press it again, you also can adjust mids and treble. So pretty straightforward and simple. Same here, you have, I guess, you have 2 noise gates, also more than enough. And here you can set different cabinets. And I think you can also load impulse responses into this pedal, which is pretty cool. So let's go to the delay. And I told you you can sync the delay to the BPM. For that you have to go to the second page of the controls, and there you can see the sync, and you can turn that on. And if you then go back and change the BPM, then also the delay speed changes. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay, so what's also pretty cool, let's turn that delay off for a minute. If you want to add like a modulation effect, let's take like a flanger. Let's take the phaser. And let's say you want to place it before the amp, so before the drive section, because you think it sounds better, which mostly it does. Then you simply have to press and hold the para control, and then you can use this control to move the effect block wherever you want it. I want to have it as the first effect, and then press this again, and now it's the first effect in the effect chain. So that is really useful. So if you want to change the effect order, that's very simple to do. Then if you want to save the preset, then you simply have to press save, and then you can use to which preset you want to save it. So you can save it on a different position if you want it, and you can also change the name if you want that. Then you press save again, and then it's saved. In this case, I don't want to save it. I want to leave it like it was before. Now, what else we got? We have a global button, and here you can set like the global settings, like input level and stuff like that, USB settings, tap tempo mode, expression settings, factory reset, and yeah, basically the settings. Then we have the drum button. If we press it once, then the drum computer starts to play. If we press and hold it, we have the drum settings here. First of all, we can set the drum BPM with this control. We can sync the drums to the BPM, which is the same like with the delay. And here is the drum volume, so pretty simple settings here. And with this control, you can go through different like drum beats. So as you can see, you have like different genres and drum beats which you can use. But what I found out is that most of the drum beats are actually too complicated in my opinion. So it's pretty hard to find a straight, simple 4/4 beat, which as a beginner you mostly want to use. So you don't want to have like fancy fills and stuff like that as a beginner if you want to practice to a drum track. I think this one of the simpler ones that I found. The next function that I want to show you is the looper. So you have to press and hold the 2 foot switches at the same time. Then you are in the looper. And yeah, that's a pretty basic looper. I think you can loop like 90 seconds, which is more than enough. So the left foot switch is to start the recording and also to play the loop afterwards. And the right foot switch is to stop the recording or stop the loop. And also if you press and hold it, you can clear the loop again. Okay, so let's record something. Yeah, and you can delete it if you press and hold this. So pretty simple looper, but it does the job. Alright, so what you can see here is the Matribox software, which you can download for your Windows PC or for your Mac, and it's of course for free. And if you want to go more in depth with editing presets and stuff like that, I can really recommend you to use the software. It makes it much easier. So you have a much better overview of everything, of all the effects, all the pedals that you can use. And you can also simply drag and drop the certain effect blocks. And you have a way better overview because on the Matribox itself you only have that very small display. So it makes sense to use this software. And I mean, it's free, so you can also use it to update your device. And I think you can also use it to import your own impulse responses if you want to do that. Alright, so that was the Sonicake Matribox, a very affordable and also very compact multi-effects pedal. First of all, I think I forgot to mention it in the video. The housing of the pedal is made out of plastic, but the back here is out of metal. So if you want to use that for live gigs, then you should keep that in mind. I think most of the sounds in this unit are really good considering the very low price of the pedal. And it's actually crazy to get like this sound quality for less than $150. I mean, you can't compare it to higher priced multi-effects pedals like the Pod Go or something like that, but the sounds are still pretty usable and very good. The pedal itself is very simple to use. It doesn't have very much controls, and also the informations on the little screen are also not that much, so you don't get overwhelmed, especially if you are a beginner. One thing that I also mentioned in the video already is that it seems to me that most of the drum beats, or at least some of the drum beats, are I think too complicated for like the target audience, which are beginners. I would prefer to have more simple drum tracks on that unit, so it would be much easier to play along to the drums. The Matribox software works very well so far. I had no issues with that, and it absolutely makes sense on a device like this. I mean, you have that tiny screen here, and if you want to edit presets, it's way easier to do that on a computer or on a laptop. I would always use the software if I want to edit like presets and stuff. So overall, I'm really impressed by this pedal considering the price point. So if you are on a tight budget and you are also a beginner, then I can really recommend you this pedal, so you can't do anything wrong with that. Alright, so now I want to know what you think about the Sonicake Matribox. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. You can find links to the Matribox down in the video description, as well as some other useful stuff. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you are new here, so that we can see each other in the next video.